first off, just want to thank you for speaking to Blast Radio and Thames Valley University. We just want to focus mainly on your campaign, Save Me. What made you want to start the campaign in the first place?
I got angry. I'm not a very angry person normally. I'm a very peaceful person normally, and I prefer to be making music or writing books or photography or whatever, astronomy, all these things. But I got up one morning and realised that a whole scheme had been put into place whereby the Conservative Party basically became the Countryside Alliance at core, and they were going hell for leather to try to bring back fox hunting to the British countryside. Now, to me, it's a tragedy if that should take place, and it came very hard to me because I'm more of a Conservative supporter than anything else. Mostly I have voted Conservative in the past. Occasionally I voted Green. But to me this was in itself a tragedy because the kind of people that I wanted to vote for weren't there anymore. Instead we have people who are hell-bent on bringing back this horrendous hunting with dogs to the countryside, and I can't rest. I thought I'm not going to put up with this. I won't be able to live with myself unless I get up and try to do something about it. I mean, I'm only one person, but I now have a lot of friends. I discovered that there's a lot of people out there that feel the same as me. But more crucially, there are hundreds of thousands of people out there who are great, decent, animal-loving people, and they don't realise what Cameron stands for. So I'm not campaigning on behalf of any political party, but I am campaigning for people to know that if they're an animal voter, if they're an animal lover, and if they vote for David Cameron, they are going to sanction a return to the complete barbarity in our countryside. There will be hunting foxes with dogs and ripping them apart limb from limb while they're still alive. There'll be hare coursing, this horrible business that goes on where they have hares in bags and let them out in front of dogs. I mean, it's so disgusting. And stag hunting, which is a brutal, brutal way of killing beautiful stags. And many other things besides. There's rumours of otters. I can tell you now, because I've spoken to Nick Herbert, who is the Shadow Minister of the Environment, and he is absolutely set on killing our native badgers as well. They don't call it killing, they call it culling. But at present we have a vaccination scheme in place, which Hilary Benn has put there. Now, I'm talking like a person who knows all about politics, but it's only recently that I got into these details, and I did it by, I have a kind of privileged position. People will open their doors to me, so I've been able to talk to all these people in all the parties directly and get some truth out of them. So I talked to Nick Herbert, and he's the man who would be in charge of our environment policy if the Conservatives are elected. Nick Herbert said, we will kill the badgers, and he said, we are in favour of fox hunting because we think it's, well, all kinds of reasons, none of which I regard as decent reasons. There is no decent reason to be hunting with dogs. The only reason, I would say the only honest reason that people will give you is that they like it. They find it fun to get up there and pursue these animals with dogs. And to me, even the way they treat their hounds is worthy of censure, because dogs don't become brutalised by accident. These things are brought up as a pack. They don't have any creature comforts. They're not like dogs that we might have as pets at all. And when they're puppies, they're taken out for this cubbing exercise. I don't know if you know what cubbing is. Cubbing is this thing where they'll be out there with the hunt, and they'll have chased the mother of the foxes off, or they've killed her or whatever, and they'll go back and find all the little cubs who are about this size at that point in the earth, and they'll dig them all out, and they set the hounds, the young hounds, the little pups, on these little fox cubs, and they eat them alive. And if the dogs refuse to eat the cubs at that point, they shoot them. I mean, it's the whole practice is so brutal and so unforgivable in my view that I can't countenance this happening. And you look at David Cameron. As I say, I'm not a political person, but I look at him and he's smiling, and if people actually do get to ask the question about fox hunting, he'll say, these days, he knows it's not a vote getter, so he goes, well, no, we're not really, some of us are against it, some of us are for it, we're going to have a free vote, which sounds really nice, doesn't it? Free vote sounds like, oh, it's going to be very fair. But in fact, if he has his way, the whole House of Commons will be packed not only with Conservatives, but with supporters of the Countryside Alliance. So a free vote means end of story. There will be no more control on fox hunting, hare coursing, stag hunting. And it's all been kept very quiet and decent. And Cameron's there smiling and talking about the economy. But that is what's going on. I mean, I sound like a kind of a conspiracy theory person, don't I? But I tell you, once you see what's going on, it's terrifying. And the day I wake up and Cameron and all his Countryside Alliance mates are in control of this country, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I even would be able to stay here.
Have you received feedback at all from the Conservative, the Tories at all?
I've talked to many Tories, and a lot of my friends are Tories. As I say, I was a Tory supporter for a lot of my life, and probably still would be if it weren't for this awful stuff going on. But the Tory party's changed. It's not what it was, I think no matter what happens in the election, I will keep Save Me going, because I actually believe in a year's time we will have 1 million members, which is astonishing, but it's growing at such an incredible rate. And I think a huge membership would give us great power, and it would be a power for animals. We would be a voice for animals like there has never been before. The reason no one else can do this, or very few people can do this, is because they have to have a charitable status to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that the other side, the side that I regard as the dark side, are able to do what the hell they like. They're not subject to any charitable commission rules, so they can be as political as they like, as contentious as they like, and nobody stops them. They're backed by huge amounts of money from people who make guns, people who support snares and shooting, all these vile pursuits which basically are sort of ways of making money. So the bad guys can do whatever they want, but the good guys like the League Against Cruel Sports or PAD or PETA, are to a certain extent gagged, because if they start getting political in any way, they lose their charitable status. So they can do so much, and they do a wonderful job. All these organisations do a great job, but because I have split from all the charities which I was patron of, and I'm now just me, I can say what I like. I'm not a political animal. I'm not campaigning on the behalf of any party, but I'm free. So if it comes down to saying I am about stopping David Cameron getting away with this, I can do it, and nobody can stop me. So so that's what. So I think Save Me, because it isn't a charity, will be able to have a great deal of freedom to have a say in the world, and we will fight for wild animals. It'll be foxes and it'll be badgers, stags and hares, but it will also be for the status and the decent treatment of farm animals. It will also be trying to get animals out of laboratories and I'm already involved in schemes which are trying to replace animals in all experiments which are being carried out. It's a hard fight, but boy, it's long overdue.